Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Jonah from Teachable, and I'll start out just thank you all for your patience. I know we are tuning in a little late. It is my fault, and we were over on a whole nother live on our YouTube talking to Julia McCoy. Highly recommend checking it out. We were just scratching the surface of using AI to market your digital products, and
Mm.
people were all excited and we just couldn't pull away, but I appreciate your patience. Thank you for being here. Everyone's hopping in the comments already, so I don't need to tell you to do that. But today's going to be just very casual, very much just asking questions, digging in, and learning as much as we can from Nancy in the time we have with her. We are super excited always to work with Nancy Badillo, who's a master of creating digital products like we're diving into. And if you've been paying attention to any communication from Teachable in the last month, you know we've been really excited about digital downloads and small tangible products because we now have that feature all built out on Teachable. You can go build your digital products and use them as lead magnets or sell them as well. So we brought Nancy aboard, who's been doing this for a long time over on Etsy, but now has her products on Teachable as well to chat all about these things. So anyone throughout the video, if you have a question, throw it in the chat. If it seems like we missed it, throw it in again. I'll try and keep up with y'all and try and ask them where relevant. And if nothing else, when I'm out of my few just interview questions, we'll answer all of yours. So thank y'all for being here. And Nancy, for anyone who's just tuning in who might not know who you are, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you're all about? And the question I've been asking creators specifically is what is the transformation that you are offering your audience and your customers?
Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us today with Teachable. Thank you, Jonah, for having me again. I'm
Of
so
course.
grateful for everyone that showed up and everyone that's going to watch this later on as well. So thank you guys. I have been in the digital space now for over 13 years. And I started because I hit a hardship. I was losing my home. I was desperate enough to try to find a way to make money online. I just had hit the recession back in 2007. Unfortunately, I didn't make money as quick as I needed to save my home, but I fell in love with the digital space, and that how it got started. I know for many people, especially a lot of my new students, started whether it's digital products or selling online or started their online business because of COVID or hardships, etc. The same thing with me, but a little bit farther down the line. So what I do is, for those of you that are meeting me for the first time, I actually am an Etsy coach, and I help Etsy sellers turn their stores into an actual. I want my main goal. Let me fix it. My main goal is for you to make a full-time income on Etsy. So how to scale your business, so how to start, manage, and scale your business to a full-time income. Now, because of my experience of being in the digital space for 13 years, I do have a lot of experience with digital products. I have a lot of experience with digital marketing. And then now I have experience with e-commerce as well.
Yeah. I love it. So I love your story, especially. You were kind of way ahead of the game. Get it. I know you maybe didn't make money quick enough for your immediate goals, but you
Of
were
course.
still wildly ahead of a lot of other people. But I'm especially curious what drew you at first to, because you started really building small downloadables, right, before courses or anything.
Actually, no, I was all over the place. That was my problem. I was all over the place. One minute I was a blogger, the next minute I was doing affiliate marketing, the next minute I was doing something else, etc. And when I got married, someone told me about Etsy. And I remember when I first went in there to buy some stuff for my wedding store, I'm like, "Ooh, how can I open an Etsy store?" Again, another thing to
Another thing.
add to my list. So at that moment, because I've never been a crafty girl, I've never been like do it yourself stuff. I never knitted, I never done anything like that. I told myself, what would be the easiest thing? And the person I bought from, they sold digital products. They sold me like a menu bar, a wedding sign, the table numbers. And my brain was like, what? I'm buying this and I edit and I have to print it out myself? How can I do the same? Like, instead
Ah,
of buying from
yeah.
the wedding, I got excited about having a digital store. So originally, when I started selling digital products was about 7 years ago, maybe eight. It's about to turn 8 years. And I decided to do printables because I didn't know how to do wedding stuff. So I decided to do printables using Word documents. So I would take a lyric from a song, put it in the Word document, save it as a PDF, and upload it to Etsy. And that's how it started. It started selling that. And then that transitioned into the wedding niche because I was selling stuff that was trademarked, which I should have never
Right.
sold.
Right. That
So you learn,
Taylor
like, I
Taylor Swift
can't
came for you.
exactly. Like I realized quickly after Xe sent me a whole bunch of infringement notices. I'm like, okay, do I quit or do I just transition and just learn something new? And then that's when I took it a little bit more serious in the sense of learning how digital products work. Now, ever since I learned how to create a wedding store selling with printables, from there it has transitioned to all sorts of digital products from lead magnets. I'm creating a free course right now that I'm going to use on Teachable. I just did my small business social media pack that I just did about 3 weeks ago. So ever since then, I've been transitioning to so many different types of digital products. But that's how it literally started for me, though.
Yeah, wow. I resonate so much, and I know I'm sure a lot of people do here as well. Hop in the comments if you're with me, but, like, that problem when you're starting out of when you're just looking for the quickest solution,
Yeah,
it's like you end up trying to start 19 different businesses in a week.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, I love that so you tried the lyrics, that, didn't legally work, but then
Exactly.
but then as you pivoted and started doing other things, I know at some point you went from, like, the more, printables and stuff to more educational based products and value like that. When you're building a digital download and
Hmm.
you're trying to have value in it, have a lot of value in it, how do you approach that challenge? Because I know when you're building a course, it's easier to conceptualize how a whole curriculum can be
Yeah.
valuable.
Hmm.
But how do you build something that's maybe 10 to 20 pages or even 1 or 2 pages that still has value and serves your customers?
What I have learned is that just give the house for free. That's what I do on everything that I give. I have this like XC SEO guide that I give out. It literally walks you through everything you need to do to optimize your store for SEO. And I didn't take anything out. I teach you how to optimize your store for both XC and Google. I show you screenshots. I show you step by step. Once you give out that free content and you give valuable something that's enticing, that's not fluff, that not everyone is not doing either, like you're giving a lot of value, people are going to join your email list. And then next time you do have something that you're selling, let's say another digital product, but this one it comes with a fee, people will buy. That's the key, is how
Mm.
can we create something of value that it doesn't mean that you're going to put like 100 million steps. Don't make it so overcomplicated. Just make sure that you get the customer from point A to point B, give them the results that they need. And that's an easy win for the customer. It's an easy win for you. It makes you look more credibility. It builds your credibility up. And then people, next time that you do have an offer, they will buy from you, a paid offer.
I love that. That attitude is one of my favorite things about the creator space
Mm,
because I've worked in companies, I've worked for companies of all different kinds, but there's such a mentality out there in a lot of businesses that you have to gate the best stuff or you can't they're so protective
exactly.
of the real value that they're
Mhm.
struggling the whole time to tell people like we promise you there it's in here.
Exactly.
But but I love that approach. So um, how did you put it? Give away the house?
Give away the house. Like just put your best information out. Keep in mind that people don't buy information, they buy systems and blueprint. So even though you're giving them
Mm.
a section, a part of that blueprint or, part of the blueprint, they're still going to need the whole thing. So just make sure that whatever you offer, it is valuable. It's the best thing out there. Like you want to make sure that it's better than your competitors or anything else out there. Definitely.
And capture emails.
Yes, emails
And
is so
that's
important.
yeah,
Exactly.
not totally for free, right?
Exactly.
Um, So that's awesome. That leads to kind of my next question as well, and I'm starting to see some questions in the chat. Throw them in there anytime you got them. We'll answer as we go.
Mhm.
Um, it's very easy to think of digital products as just paid value, but you're talking now about really like powerful lead magnets, right? So
Mhm.
building these projects. So what's your advice if someone has no digital products or lead magnets of any kind, but
So if you
but knows they need them?
yes.
What's next?
So the quickest way to kind of grow your email list is to offer something like a lead magnet. And you could easily set that up through Teachable, which is so simple. And what you want to make sure that you do is that you know who is your target audience. That's the first thing. You want to make sure that you're creating something that solves a problem that they currently are facing or have. And
Mm.
then you want to make sure that once you create the lead magnet, don't focus on it has to be perfect, it has to have the perfect cover. People don't care so much about that. It's about the information within it. So don't overconsume yourself trying to make it perfect or trying to spend hours. I mean, I kid you not, I created one lead magnet. It took me about 5 hours because I had to create little check boxes and stuff like that. And this is about 6 years ago. This lead magnet has grown my email list to 63,000. It's nothing special. It's just three PDFs, one for wedding for people that are getting married, and it just tells them if you're getting married in 6 months, these are all the things you have to do month by month. If you're getting married in 12 months, and if you're getting married in 18 months. I just added a cover to it last year, but before that, I didn't even have a cover. It was just like you grab this lead magnet, and then I just showed what they got inside. Just don't overcomplicate it. Create something that your target audience will want that's going to entice them to want to join your email list. And then once they're in your email list, make sure to nurture that lead by constantly giving a lot of value. And then eventually you'll turn them from cold to warm, and then they'll be raving fans.
We're literally just talking about this with Julia McCoy, the process of recognizing if you offer services or if you've been through. I imagine you did this after you got married.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
After
so
we got
you
married.
knew vividly what
Exactly.
what the problem was. Recognizing that the it's easy for creators to assume that everyone knows these things.
Mm-mm, no. And
Yeah.
remember, like, there's going to be people that know more than you, but you're not going after those people. You're going after the people that are a few steps behind you. That's what I always say. Don't start like over analyzing everything and saying, well, no one's going to download this. Trust me, there are people that really don't know whatever information you're giving out, that they would love to consume that information.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Nancy, we got some relevant questions coming in
Okay.
from the chat, so I want to get it. We got Cynthia P is saying the $1,000,000 question. I see so many digital stores that offer so many things in one bundle for like $3. How are they able to create so many products?
Well, a lot of these stores, it really depends on their back end. Do they have a large budget? Do they have a large following? Do they have an online presence? Because when you're first starting out, especially on Etsy, it takes time to build traction, especially with the digital stores, like Cynthia saying that they sell like a bundle just for like $3. It takes time to create. And these are massive bundles. I know exactly what you're saying. Some of them are like 50, 60 pages. And you're like, how do they do that? Well, maybe this person, you don't know the whole story. Maybe they have graphic design skills. Maybe they've been doing these for a long time. So it's easy for them to kind of put them together. I know for me personally, I could go right now on Teachable and create a course. I've been doing one in the last 3 days and I'm almost done. So
Yeah.
because of the fact that I've been doing it so long, so that's the same with these people. And a lot of times, because they have the experience, it's just so much easier for them to kind of produce so much at once. But it doesn't mean that you should get discouraged. It means that you should still do it. It just might take you a little bit longer. And once you get more comfortable with making more of them, then it's going to be an easier process for you as well. And then a lot of times we don't know if they have a lot of help behind the scenes too. They might have a team. You know, a lot of times these stores have multiple employers or multiple people that work with them that create this with them as
Yeah.
well. And being a solopreneur, it just seems like impossible because not only do you have to create the product, upload the product, do SEO, market the product, and do this and do that. So it might seem overwhelming for you or for someone starting out to feel like, well, how the heck am I ever going to do this? And just be where you at right now, start it and keep growing it. Eventually you'll get there as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and it's I've noticed too, and I'm curious here. Just because someone has a lot of products doesn't mean they're successful or that they're any good.
And another thing that I like to do is because I do get a lot of people that tell me this is my competitor, and then I go look at them, but they've been on Etsy for like 10 years or they've been on Etsy for 5 years. I'm like, that's not necessarily your competitor. Your competitor is someone that opened maybe a year to 2 years that is profitable on Etsy. This person, if they've been open, like let's say 5 years, you don't know what type of email list they have. You don't know what type of, like there's a lady called a store called Planner Kate's One. Many of you guys, if you sell on Etsy, you know her. She sells about 1,000 planners per day. That's like her average. And I joined her email list just to see what the heck is she doing. She has monthly perks. Every
Mm.
month she sends her followers an email with freebies. And guess
Oh,
what?
wow.
People still go
Oh, so
buy more. So a
it's
lot
so
of
it's like
people,
a membership.
yes,
Yeah.
a lot of people feel like, oh, if I do freebies, no one's going to buy. Well, this lady gives monthly freebies, and she still make more than 1,000 sales per day for like the past, I don't know, 2, 3 years now. So if you want to analyze these people, join their email list, follow them, stalk them online, see what they're doing. What are they doing different? And that will give you a lot of valuable insight on the company. It will tell you like, oh, no wonder. I mean, if you are giving freebies and valuable stuff all the time in your email list, your unsubscribe percentage is going to be very, very low because people are going to stick around for
Yeah. Well, I love that. I also love that approach. I used to delete every marketing email I got until I got into working in marketing, and now I'm like, let's see what they're doing. Like,
it. You learn a lot.
you learned so much. Yeah. And so I love that advice. This is a great question and needs some clarifying, but I'm hoping you can clarify. So Cheryl is asking, can you create a download on Teachable and then download it from Teachable to Etsy and sell it? I think there's a little bit of a confusion. Teachable is where you can sell and distribute products, and so is Etsy. But Nancy, in your words, I would love to hear, they are kind of different beasts, right? You
Yeah,
can
they are.
be, and you're in both places at this
I
point.
am. Exactly.
So I would love for you to talk about like what you see as the differences and advantages between the two.
So there's a huge difference between both of them, Cheryl, and I'm glad that you asked the question. And thank you, Cynthia, as well for asking the question earlier. Basically, with Teachable, in my opinion, is really great because what happens is when you sell on Teachable, there's no other competitors. Like when you send an email out and you say, hey, check out this new product, and they click on the link, it takes them back to that sales page, but there's nothing else there. There's no distraction. There's Etsy is not advertising other people's products on the bottom of the page. So the person is either going to buy or not buy your product. They're not going to go and see someone else's product and buy theirs. So that's the advantage of having a Teachable account. However, with Etsy, the advantage of it is that if you are first starting out and you are a solopreneur, you're first starting out, this is your business, you don't have an email list, you don't have online presence. With Etsy, you could build your brand and still make a lot of money with zero email list and zero social media presence. My first year on Etsy, I didn't use my brand name. I just opened an Etsy store, I tested it out, and I made 21,000 my first year on Etsy selling digital products. So you can make money on Etsy regardless if you have a big audience or no audience. Teachable will require for you to promote your products, promote it on social media, do Facebook ads, promote it anywhere, but you will be almost like you're bringing in the traffic yourself.
Right.
Now if you have an online presence like I do, and you have a large email list, then you can make, like in Teachable, I have made over 500,000, but that's because I have an audience. And that's
Right.
the difference between both of them. However, what's great is that you could start on Etsy, build your brand. And once you have built your brand and you have grown your email list and you're getting traction, you could open a Teachable store and start sending most of your traffic there. Trust me, I could send a whole bunch of traffic to my Etsy store and put my numbers up. But guess what happens? Etsy's fees are really, really high compared to Teachable. So
Right.
the last 3 weeks with my new product, I made like $5,000, and I could have had my numbers go up on Etsy, but I send it over here instead. In addition, I do encourage you that if you do start an Etsy business and you want to try Teachable, I still encourage you to do it because you could essentially drive a lot of traffic using like Pinterest. I love Pinterest. I use Pinterest a lot for my Teachable
Mm.
account. So you could literally drive tons of traffic. Pinterest is a great platform to do so for digital products. They work really, really well. So you could do either one, you could do both, but don't overstep what you can do at the moment, right? Because you don't want to stretch yourself so thin that you're not using neither platform correctly. That's the only
Right.
thing I would say.
Right. That is so valuable to have a creator lay it out and those different elements and yeah, how it all works. I'm gonna skip a few questions down just because
Mhm.
you started to answer this one. So does print Pinterest really help to get traffic to your Etsy shop? It sounds like it does, and Pinterest, I that's not Etsy specific, right? Like Pinterest can be a powerful tool for
Mhm.
getting people to your products. So you use Pinterest to get people to your stores and to your products?
Yeah, I've been using Pinterest for years now. And I use Pinterest for my brand. I use Pinterest for my Teachable, like my course and my digital products. I use Teachable for my Etsy store. And I also use Teachable for several blogs. One of my blogs is a lifestyle blog. It took me 4.5 years. I want to be clarified. It takes a lot of work to create a blog. It took me 4.5 years. I get about a 700,000 monthly pages, and it's all from Pinterest. All I use is email, Pinterest, and blog. That's it. I don't even use Instagram on that account. So Pinterest, and then on my personal brand, I get about 2 million impressions per month. On that account, I get about, it went down, it's like about 8 million. But I kid you not, and that's without ads. I'm not running ads or anything. That's organic traffic. And even though, and this is another thing, Pinterest is the one platform that I have the least followers. I have like 30,000, the least followers, but it drives me the most traffic. It's crazy. It drives me the most traffic out of all of my platforms combined.
So is that because your followers are the most active, or is it that it is still, regardless of followers, showing your content to the most people?
It's showing the content to the most people. With t-shirt with Pinterest, excuse me, it's an SEO platform
Right.
basically, right? So you anytime that you promote your business, you should have either like a YouTube channel, a blog, Pinterest. You need to have one of those at least because that's going to give you more evergreen, like people seeing your content longer. And that's what I love about Pinterest. With Instagram and Facebook, after a week or so, your post is like on the bottom feed, no one sees it. But with Pinterest, it does last longer. And then what I use with Pinterest, one of the secret things it's not secret, I share it all the time, is I use the community. They have a community tab. It's extra money, but I highly recommend it. And with the community tab, what you do is that you share your pins. And basically, let's say I share two of my pins, and then you have to share other people's pins within that group. So you're almost like collaborating with a lot of people. What happens
Got you.
now is, let's say Jonah has a Pinterest account of 30,000 people. When he shares my pin, now I'm getting access to his audience, 30,000 people. When he shares my pin, let's say I have 100,000, now he gets access to mine. That is something that a lot of people are not willing to do because they're like, well, I don't want to pay for Tailwind. It's extra money, but it's so worth it. It gives you so much eyeballs. I mean, I just did a pin about 3 days ago and it has like 270,000 views just from using the community tab. It really works. It's just using it correctly, effectively,
Well,
of course.
I think we're good. I think we're done here. That's a great note to That's
Sorry.
so no, no, that's so cool. I never put that together, but that's like newsletter swapping or all sorts of that's
Everything. You
yeah.
can do your digital
Plus,
downloads, everything.
it's still way cheaper and more impressions than taking out an ad. That's the
Yes, exactly.
yeah.
Mhm.
Um, oh man, wow. We got so many good questions coming in. This is great. I'm just gonna keep going through these because honestly, all of these people have better questions than I had. So we're gonna keep digging in. So how do you compete with so many people selling digital downloads on Etsy, especially if you're not on the first page? And then I know this is SEO related, right? So
part of
I'm
it.
also curious, just if we can make this more general as well, just how do you get visibility? We mentioned Pinterest, but in other ways with SEO, what are your tips for getting visibility to your products?
The first thing is you want to make sure, a lot of people, what they do is they go straight to the, like the content creation or the product creation, right? They skip market research and product research. They just go straight, oh, I want to make this digital planner. Let me make that, right? So what you want to make sure that you do is that you want to check the market first. You want to verify, okay, does this product sell on Etsy? Because not everything sells on Etsy. Some stuff do fall short. And some stuff are just starting to get, people are starting to realize, oh, I could buy digital products on Etsy. At one point, people didn't realize that. A few years ago, it wasn't like now, then everybody knows about digital products. So you want to make sure that it doesn't fall short. Secondly, once you find out, okay, I did see that this product is selling on Etsy, then you want to see, what is my competition? How
Mm,
many people are selling a similar product like this? Is it 100,000 people? Then guess what? If you go into Etsy selling a product that another 100,000 stores are selling, it is going to be really hard for you to break through the competition. It doesn't mean that you won't be successful. It just means that you might go 3 months without making a sale. You might get an occasional sale here and there, but it's not going to be consistent sales from the beginning. It means that you're going to have to build your brand awareness. It means you're going to have to build your email list and build your own raving fans to kind of sell to them until you break through and make a name for yourself. It just means you're going to have to work harder. However, if you find a product in your niche market that's underserved, that a lot of people are searching for, but not too many people are creating, that's when you could create a digital product and stand out and still make a lot of money. That's why there's a lot of stores out there that you see in a year they make 39,000 sales. You're like, how? Because they're selling products that not everyone else is making. So therefore, people are buying it regardless if the photo's okay or not, regardless if SEO was done 100% correct. It's because of that. You have to make sure that you're creating products that are not super saturated. That's the key. And that's general. Like anywhere you sell, Teachable, on Etsy, on Amazon, always keep that in mind. If you sell a product that's super competitive, it's going to be harder to break through. If you sell a product that's trending, it's in demand, and not too many people are making, guess what? You will make sales. And the thing about Etsy is a trending platform. They send out trending reports every 6 months. So you have to know your product inside and out, and you have to be able to say, well, this product did really well for me in 2018, but in 2023, it's dying. It's not evergreen anymore. It's dying. I see in Google Trends going down. It's time to me to pivot and try something else. That
yeah,
is, mhm.
that's such a good, just general product development advice, though, is like do a
Mhm.
little bit of research. I think I know a lot of people, myself included. It sounds like you too, when you get started, it starts with just thinking like, I have a great idea.
Yeah, it always does. But
But do the little bit of research and you'll be so much better off.
it
Yeah.
makes a big difference. I think for many people is that they don't know how to do market research. That's the key. It's
Yeah.
not so much that they're being lazy or they're trying to skip the part. It's just that they're like, okay, that's great news. I know that. I just don't know how to do that. So that's why I always say, do market, find out first, does it sell? Secondly, see what is the how much is the volume? Like how many people are selling that? And you could use tools like Alora or eRank, and they actually give you that information for anyone listening that needs that right now.
Yeah. Love it. Just gotta keep going through these questions. So many good ones here. This is, I know, a big question and a hard
Mhm.
one to answer without specifics, but how do you go about pricing your products? How do you measure the value to what you're charging? And I'm gonna add a little because I think this is pivotal too. How do you price the value? And then how do you decide what it's actually selling for?
I think it just comes down again, looking at the market, seeing what other people are charging and kind of being competitive. However, when you sell an Etsy, you do have to be more competitive with the market because your product shows up next to someone else's product. However, when you sell on Teachable, you could always go a little bit higher. You don't have to go with whatever the market is, because keep in mind
Mm,
that you're sending them directly to your sales page. There's nothing else there that's going to say otherwise. Well, this other store sells a bundle the same, but there's a 17 and you're charging me 57. They don't see that. So on Etsy, what I recommend is being competitive within your market. In the beginning, it is okay, especially with digital products. A lot of people don't want to put the price down, but I think it's really important that you do on Etsy in the beginning to kind of get traction. Because how Etsy works is how you land on page one of Etsy is based on your listing quality score. How many people clicked, how many people engaged, and how many people purchased. So
mm.
if your prices are a lot higher than everyone else's, you might not get a lot of clicks, engagement, or sales. However, if you're very competitive or come down a little bit less, that will actually help you out. And if you have the means to spend money, do Etsy ads on your products. That will push, that will give you, that will show them to more people. And because you have a lower pricing, even if it's like $2, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. That will give you an advantage, because what happens now in the next 30 days, your listing is going to show as an indicator that people are actually clicking, engaging, and buying. So after 30 days, turn off the ad and you should be ranking high. Then you could price it a little bit higher,
Mm.
but just do that in the first 30 days. Now with Teachable, you don't need to really, I mean, it's a good idea to look at the market and see what are other creators selling the digital products. But keep in mind, your product is not your business. Your brand experience is your business. So somebody might come across the same similar product, but because you gave them better customer service, you built rapport with them, they will buy from you regardless if it's $10 more or $100 more or $500 more, depending on what you sell. So always keep that in mind.
You keep dropping these like 30-second nuggets of insane value.
Okay. I'm glad. I hope you are.
Oh, just that I first, I think that distinction is so valuable. It's really, you're just laying it out really clearly for people to make informed decisions. Because I
Mhm,
think a lot of people turn to marketplace platforms like Etsy and stuff thinking it's gonna be easier.
mhm.
It's just different challenges, and
Yeah.
or recognizing where in your path it makes sense to start on a
Mm,
marketplace. Or with something like Teachable, if you're really controlling the pathway, that it's not so much about the product, but the experience of buying it.
exactly.
It's just got I know I'm repeating back what you just said to me, but I'm, like, processing it because 'cause I'm like, "Whoa, hold
No, that's okay.
everybody hold on to that." That's this is a fantastic question. After you start getting emails with your lead magnet, do you offer something free on every email after that? And just in general, what's your, like, for the first, 2 to 5 emails, what's your approach to nurturing someone new to your list?
So the first one should be obviously the lead magnet. Whatever you offer, once they join your email list, it should send automatically. So the second email could be something about who you are, like your brand.
Mm,
Letting them know this is what you could expect from us as the brand. These are the type of emails that we're going to be sending to you, and encourage people to build rapport with you. Encourage conversations. Not only does that help you with your email and not going to spam because now they're responding to you, but it also builds rapport. So asking them what type of content or what type of whatever your niche is, would you like me to do? So that's a really great way to kind of take interest, telling them about your brand, but also getting feedback on what they would like to see.
so you're d and telling them to reply to the email?
Yeah,
That's this
yeah.
is yeah,
And
yeah,
it takes
love it.
time, trust me. I've been replying
Yeah.
to emails but it's okay. I mean, it's building that rapport. When you build that rapport with that person and you do that in an authentic way, once you do send that email that is a promotional email, they will click and be more than happy to buy if it's something that's going to really be transformational for them and it's going to help them. So the first email is your lead magnet. The second email is about your brand, maybe asking them what they would like to see from you. Maybe the third one could be like 10 tips for your wedding day,
Mm.
and just give them value, something for free. So maybe you wrote an article, maybe you have a great video that you know that they will like. Maybe the fourth one is a free tool, or it doesn't even have to be your tool. It could be like, did you know that with this tool you could do X, Y, and Z? I do that all the time. And people are like, oh my God, I didn't know about that tool. I loved it. I
Yeah.
used it. And that builds, and people email you back excited about it. And then the fifth email could be something about, and maybe you have social media and you want to include them in there for brand awareness and to keep them in your ecosystem. You could say, hey, by the way, we are on Facebook, we are here, give us a follow. I do share exclusive content on Instagram that I don't share over here. And then maybe on the I don't know what day we are now, but let's say day fifth, then that's when you start maybe warming them up to a promotional email that you have something. And I would do like 3 emails after that, and then more value, 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 value of sale, value, value, value of sale, value, value, and then keep that process.
Yeah, and you can reuse value throughout that right? Like,
Mhm.
you're not starting from scratch, but yeah, love it. Yeah, wow. This is by the way, this audience is just fantastic. Not only are
I'm
you
so
commenting
thankful.
and engaged, yeah, and that's true. I just testament to everything you said about caring about your audience. Every time I've done a live event with you, your audience shows up just awesome and ready
Oh, thank you.
ready to be here. Um, so, this is a question. I love what you said earlier. That actually came up with our interview with Julia McCoy as well. There's a lot of correlations between what you both are saying.
Mhm.
Also makes sense. You're both very good at what you do.
She's amazing.
Uh, but about social media advertising versus SEO and the evergreen relationship you have with SEO, whereas social media is very fleeting. Um, so when it comes up to stuff like TikTok and Instagram and stuff, what do you typically recommend where
Well,
someone puts their time?
so my first tip for anyone, like when you're promoting your digital products, whether you're selling them on Teachable or Etsy or any other platform, is whatever platform you choose, make sure that your audience hangs out there. Do you understand that your audience uses TikTok or uses Instagram? Once you know that, okay, I'm gonna like Sue asked, I'm gonna promote on TikTok, then you want to make sure before you even run ads, you want to make sure, do I have my bio? Do I have a clear my profile? Does it say what I do, why people should follow me, why people should buy from me? Make sure that you're talking to your ideal customer. In addition to that, make sure that you have at least 9 posts that's relevant to your business. Not one post about your business. The next one is about what you ate for dinner. The next one is what you got for Christmas. It needs to be business related posts. Once you get
Mm,
to a status of people knowing you, then you could open up and share more of you, but then you always tie it back to your business. That's what I do. But
mm,
you want to make sure that everything is related, because there's a lot of people that might click on your ad and go to your profile just to see what the heck you are all about. In addition with using advertising, I use it. I'm more of a I grow my accounts more organically. However, if you have the means to spend money, they do work. Advertising does work. The key is to understand that you are going to waste a lot of money, or not waste, because you're collecting data. You are going to spend money in the beginning to collect data and understand what works and doesn't work. So when you're running
mm,
advertising, not only does your profile page needs to be on point, you need to have your call to actions on point, your link, your ad has to be on point. Does your ad copy speak to your target audience? Do you have a call to action? Does your landing page, whether it's Teachable sales page or wherever you're sending, match whatever you're promoting? And then in the back end of the ad, you got to make sure that you're choosing the right demographics, which is your target audience. If you don't know who is your target audience and who you're serving, you should never run ads, because that's just a waste of money. If you know who they are, then perfect, run it. And even if you don't make money, you could analyze those ads and see, okay, I targeted these people with this age. Let me try these with this age. Let me upload my email list and do a remarketing campaign. Let me target my Instagram people that engage with my account, because I know that they're my target audience. So let me run an ad that targets them. Then you'll be able to kind of try all these different things and see, wow, this one's working for me. And then track your analytics is everything. Data over drama. Don't always say, oh, this doesn't work, but you never checked your data. You don't know what's your conversion rate. You don't know how many clicks. You don't even know how much you spend. You need to be able to look at the data to make an informed decision of what is working, what's not working, what you need to change. It's a lot, but it's the best approach. Start with your profile first, fix all that first before you even jump to ads.
You're a machine, Nancy.
Trust me, I've wasted a lot of money not doing it the right way. So
Yeah. No, that's just one of the most measured responses about ads and stuff, because there's so much stuff out there about just like ads, ads, ads to grow your business. And it's like, maybe if you're really looking at it and if you're paying attention. And I've done that too. Early on, I would run ads and no one would buy, and I would be like, this isn't for me.
Yep,
And
exactly.
then like 2 years later, I was like, I probably should have looked at the data.
I done that before, and trust me, I just ran last year like 70,000 on Facebook ads. So trust me, I have to look at that. That's a lot of
Yeah.
money that you spend if
Yeah.
you don't pay attention. So
Yeah.
yes.
But now
Mhm.
you are, right? Now you
Oh, of
really, I'm
course,
sure
yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
Um, I love this. Very practical question, which I think I could just answer quickly. Can I sell a PDF lead magnet on Teachable's free version? Yes, you can sell.
Mhm.
I forget what the limit is, if it's one or two, but you can sell a um a digital product there, and you can build more. You just can't sell more than one. I just wanted to answer that
I
quick.
wonder if they could build multiple accounts and then sell them on separate on Teachable too.
Uh let's keep going. That's
That's another, yeah, that's like more
I'm not
complicated.
I don't know if I can promote you teaching people how to hack our
Okay, gotcha.
um uh anyways. You're
Sorry.
dangerous. You're dangerous. um, Marsha Family Home Videos is asking, I always get discouraged because I feel like I'm so far behind from my competitors and behind the digital download era. If I'm just starting out, am I behind? Is it too late?
No, it's not. It's never too late. Trust me. What I This goes back to my response from earlier. You're not targeting the people that know more than you. You're targeting the people that know less than you. I'm sure that you know more than a lot of people out there. So it is easy to kind of look at someone else. I mean, I'm 40 and I look at some 20, like I look at this one lady, one young lady, she's like 24 and millionaire. I'm like, how? Right, we all do that, and but what you have to do is stay in your lane. Everyone has different resources. A lot of the younger people kind of grew into this, right? I'm old school. I didn't grow into digital marketing, and I didn't, I was when the dial-up was still happening. It was in Wi-Fi. So we're probably in the same boat, me and you, Marshall family. So it is, I understand what it is to feel like you're behind, but just start. You will never know. You will surprise yourself. You might say this now, and a year from now you'll be like, oh my god, I should have started like last year or the year before that, and I kept procrastinating because I'm feeling like I'm behind. No, there's so many people in this world. There's so many people that have amazing gifts. Whatever your gift is, just do it and turn it into an income. Basically take your creativity and your passion and turn it into income. Is never too late. Keep in mind, my ideal customers, I thought, were like 35 to 45, right? For some reason, all my students are like, majority, not all. I have a huge percentage that are 70, 80, and they're still chasing their dreams. And they want to make passive income to supplement their social security. And I love it. And I have a lady that she sold in her first 3 months 150 sales, and she's like 74.
Ah,
Come on. I
yeah,
mean, I love it. It's never
yeah.
too late.
I love it. Yep, love that. Um, Chelsea is asking, are you using keywords on Pinterest? I have 30,000 followers on Pinterest, but I don't really get traffic or sales from it.
Wow, I mean, for you to get 30,000, that's pretty good. And if you're not monetizing your 30,000, then how did you get them? Like, because a lot of times if you're using Pinterest just for fun and you were just pinning random stuff and, oh, I like this for my house, I like this for the kitchen. Maybe that's how you grew the 30,000 unconsciously without knowing. But if you started it with your business and you actually niche down, then the 30,000 you should be able to monetize pretty easily. One recommendation I have, I know it's not answering your question yet, but one recommendation is put a banner with a freebie. In Pinterest, you could put a banner on top of your profile where you could say, grab this free whatever, and then link in bio, and you put your link in bio, and it will go straight to Teachable to download whatever you're offering. So that's the first thing I recommend. So when people visit your homepage, that's the first thing that they see, or the homepage of Pinterest. Secondly, yes, you want to optimize your account on Pinterest. Pinterest is a search engine. So blogging, YouTube, Pinterest are search engines. You have to make sure that you add keywords in your title, in your description, in your Pinterest boards, and anywhere that you could actually put any type of detail. You need to do keyword research on Pinterest. You could do so in the search bar, relevant keywords that are relevant to what you're selling or what you're promoting, and then put that within your context organically within your whatever you're describing your product is. But you need to use the keywords. If you're not optimizing your pins correctly, you might get found here and there because maybe you put one keyword, but you're not amplifying your reach and you're not driving as much sales to your products.
Yeah. I know 30,000 followers
That's
without using keywords is pretty.
It's pretty good.
Like, go get it, Chelsea. That's amazing. Yeah.
Mhm.
Marshall Family Home is asking again, do you have a team to help with each aspect of your business, like Etsy, Pinterest, social media, Teachable? I love questions like this because it's easy to assume that creators or influencers are just magic unicorns that do all of this alone.
Well,
But at your point, do you have a team? I know you've done a lot on your own, but where are you at now with your business?
so I have a VA that started with me about a year and a half ago. So she's a lifesaver because she goes through all my emails. She sorts out all of my emails. She answers the majority of my students because I have 8,000 students. So imagine, like, I get a lot of emails about I can't log in or this or that. So she helps me out with that. And I just hired a social media manager last month, but she had an accident. So she can't start till February. Besides that, I've been doing everything. Now I do outsource a lot. So I will go to Upwork and outsource a lot of my work, to be quite honest. That has helped me, like proofreading. I have people that proofread stuff for me. So that helps. But have I had like a huge team? No. My goal is for 2023 to have at least 4 to 5 employees. That's my goal. Yep.
Yeah.
Because I realized that in order to scale even more, I need to be able to free up a lot of time. Right now, at one point, I was spending 4 hours a day just on emails, social media. I mean, I have half a million, half a million followers on different platforms. So I was spending about 4 hours just on emails, messages. By the time I wanted to do a money making activity, I was too tired to do so.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I will say I've seen creators with much smaller audiences and much larger teams.
Yeah, I have seen
You
it too.
yeah. And I've talked to other creators too, who also, if your name comes up, they're like, "Yeah, Nancy works really hard."
Man, I'm telling you, I don't. What I recommend is this is like my number one thing this year is as soon as you make a certain amount of income, hire help, delegate, delegate, delegate. I have read the book 4 Hours. I have it down there. I don't know if I see it, but I have a list of a
Like,
whole bunch of keywords, a whole bunch of books down there. And a lot of times we read stuff, but we don't practice it, or we learn stuff and we don't practice it. And that book strictly tells you delegate, delegate. And I know this, and I have not done it. The minute I did it with Khadija, oh my God, it was like I got like 3 hours on my hands. What do I do with this? Do I do more YouTube videos? Do I do another course? What do I do? So I realized that as soon as I hire someone, so my recommendation is if you have it within your means, hire someone. If you don't have it within your means and you're a solopreneur, do not waste time on stuff that doesn't move the needle. That's my
mm,
biggest thing because I used to do that before. Every day, do things that is going to move the needle, it's going to make you money, and leave the stuff out. If you have to use one social media platform only, because using 5 of them is overwhelming you and you're not being intentional and you're all over the place and you don't even know how to use it correctly, stop doing it. Just
mm,
do things that are going to move the needle to the point that you could hire help. Mhm.
yeah.
I
Oh,
learned that the hard way too.
yeah. It sounds like you're still learning, but trying to practice it. It's hard though, because especially I know when you're living in conjunction with your income growing, it's hard to be shrewd too, to when you work so hard to make a certain amount of money, and then you're like, I don't want to give it away.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. So I just know it's not easy to do it at first, but yeah. Um, man, what good questions we got. Oh, I love that Rosita was just saying, "Hey, would you do a Tailwind mini course?" So
um,
you don't have to.
well, that's a great question, Rosita. I do offer inside my Pinterest course, I do show you how to use Tailwind. I haven't thought about doing a mini course for Tailwind, but thank you for the suggestion. I will keep it in mind because for years people are like, "Would you do an email mini course?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think that would be a good idea." And now I'm doing it. So you'll be surprised, like maybe Rosita, I will do it because this year I said I'm going to do a lot of mini courses and freebies and more classes. So it might be an idea. I might think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
um, we have to wrap up just for time here, but I had a few more questions I just really wanted to get to. And well, one really before we just wrap up, and Janice had such a good question. Just, I know you shared a little bit of your story, but Janice is asking if you could share a little bit more of your story
Of
going from
course.
poverty and losing your house and making so much money. And
Mhm.
specifically, the good question is, how do you do that without any money to invest when you get started?
So for me, it stems even farther than that. I came from foster care. I grew up with grandparents that don't read or write. So when I grew up with them, I was already challenged with parents that couldn't help me with my homework. I don't come from great resources. I'm not smarter than anyone else. My luck is my perseverance. I keep pushing through. And that's what you need to do, Janice. No matter what happens, Janice, I'm sorry. No matter what happens, just keep pushing through. So when I was working at a Bali Total Fitness back in 2007. I was making decent money, but because I grew up with no guidance, no one telling me, you shouldn't buy a house and work a full time job and go to school full time. I was going at DePaul University. No one really gave me guidelines. I've been on my own since I was 14 years old, put it that way. And I did the best I could. At that moment, I thought I could have all three things: go to school full time, work a full time job. And I thought I was doing really good for myself. I bought a house in the south side of Chicago in the west area because it was all I could afford. It was a brand new home. They're trying to fix the community. I said, why not? So when I went through, my job went through bankruptcy, Bally's, and I ended up going from six figures because I was a general manager to barely making 15,000. At that point, I was like, panic mode. Like, how am I going to save my home? So I started Googling how to make money online. Unfortunately, it's not as easy as everyone says. Oh, with a click of the button, you make money. It doesn't work that way. Back in 2009, it was a lot even harder than now because there weren't that many people out there. And the programs that were out there were thousands of dollars. Now you can find programs for like 47 and $100 and a lot of free resources like what Jonas provides here in Teachable. But back then there was anything like that. So what happened was in the process of I lost everything. I went through foreclosure, lost my home. I remember it's freezing cold outside and I'm living in my home in Chicago with no air, no heat, put it that way. Everything got disconnected. My car almost got repo. I mean, I went through it and I was by myself because I have a lot of siblings, but I didn't grow up with them. So I was
Mm,
literally by myself. My husband, that was my friend at the time, lent me money. And I'm thankful for him to this day. But I went through a lot. But in the process of that hardship, I fell in love with the digital space.
mm.
I even worked three jobs trying to save my home. I lost it all. I ended up working at Verizon call center, Verizon, the phone company. I worked there for 7
Like in
years.
the help center when you call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Where everybody calls you and screams at you for every problem they have with their phone.
I know. I was about to be like,
Call centers are
I'm sorry. I
hard.
may have been.
If you work at a call center, I totally understand you. I
Yeah.
worked there for 7 years. I did my side hustle for the 7 years as well. I would take my computer, talking to someone and working at the same time. That's how
Mm,
dedicated I was. I would work on the weekends. And I told myself, I'm going to go back to school. I got my second bachelor's. I got a master's in business with a minor in marketing. And I told myself, either one, I'm going to make money online, which didn't happen for a long time, or two, I'm going to work at an agency and be with like minded individuals.
Hmm.
I ended up working at an ad agency. I ran Mercedes-Benz and I ran Toyota ads. I did their branding. I did their social listening. I did everything from social media, SEO, etc. I worked there for 5 years. I still did my side hustle as well, put it that way. And I just kept pushing through. And then eventually, when I started my Etsy business, that's when kind of everything took over. But the reason why is I started selling the digital products, like I told Jonas, and then I started making money from it. And I told myself, instead of being all over the place, 1 minute I'm a blogger, freelancer, I started making money with affiliate marketing first. That's where my money really came. And that's my number one income stream right now. That was where my money came from. But I didn't make enough to quit my job. But with Etsy, it propelled it that way. So then I said, instead of being all over the place, let me niche down and become an Etsy coach. When I became an Etsy coach and I niche everything down, my blog, my Instagram, my YouTube channel, everything. Because at one point, I had 50,000 Instagrams, people following me, but I wasn't making no money from them. Why? Because I was all over the place. When I niched down, that's when my business took over. That's when I grew. That's when I started making multiple six figures every year. That's my story. My story is I'm not special. There's nothing special about me. I just pushed through it regardless. And I'm really proud of who I am today, because if you knew my background, you would be like, wow. And I'm sure that you guys could relate. I'm sure there's people that had it worse than me. So I'm not trying to, say anything about me, but I'm not special. I just kept pushing through, and you guys could do the same. I'm just turning 40, and sometimes you do feel like, oh my God, am I late? But I'm just happy I got here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But that's kind of like everything, like in a little shorter.
That's a lot. Yeah. Well, it sounds like on some level the answer to the question, how did you do that without any money to invest, is time and raw perseverance. Like,
Another thing I
and
would
you always had a job, right? This was a side
exactly.
hustle
That's what
until,
I was
yeah.
gonna say, Janice. One thing is, a lot of people feel like I'm gonna quit my job and do this full time, but it doesn't always work that way, because if you quit your job and you don't have an income, guess what? The bills don't wait, right? They don't wait. You need to pay bills. You need to feed your family. You need to feed yourself. You need to buy this. You need to pay for that. So my biggest recommendation, if you are going to quit your job, make sure you have 6 to 1 year's worth of money saved up for your bills, money saved up for your whatever your expenses are going to be for your business as well. 6 to 1 year. If you could do more than that, even better.
You mean 6 months to a year?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Of savings.
yeah.
And the reason why for me it was easy to keep pushing through as well is because I always had a full-time income. So I had that to rely on. If I didn't have a full-time income, I don't know how, I don't think I could have made it this far. I probably would have kept going, but it would have been a lot harder because you still got bills to pay, you know? So you need to make sure that you stay in your full-time job and make this work no matter what. Because if you quit your full-time job, you're going to make the situation you have now even worse, because you don't have time to learn the proper way. You're going to try to rush everything and you're going to mess it up even more.
Yeah.
And you're not going to speed up the process. You're actually going to do the backwards. It's going to be longer process.
It's hard to be patient.
It
With
is.
your
It
own
is
business.
very hard.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
tell people, you don't necessarily have to take my route. I learned the hard way because I didn't have guidance. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't invest in programs. So I was trying to figure it out all by myself. My best advice, regardless if you buy from me or not, I don't care. This is just raw advice, is get a mentor, get somebody who's going to help you fast track your results. Now I don't have a problem. Last year I spent 10,000 on a YouTube course. I don't have a problem spending the money, whether it's 10,000 or $1,050, if it's going to help me fast track whatever I'm trying to get. As long as I'm buying it from someone reputable and I can see the results, why not? That's going to be the quickest way. If you try to do everything yourself, you're going to keep going in circles, 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 and it's just going to waste so much time. So if you're looking for instant gratification or looking for a quicker results, invest in yourself by buying mentoring, books, whatever you have to do, by coming to lives like this, learning from other people. It really does make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think that's just the best possible place to end on.
Sorry,
I
y'all.
love
Keep talking.
no, no, thank you so much, and I love to it's so valuable to get all of these very practical tips, but then to also just hear the reality of the story, and there's always some cool guy on a yacht in an Instagram ad telling
Oh
you
my
he's
god.
got the way for you to get rich tomorrow, and what he's not telling you is that you buy it, that's how he gets rich, right? But,
Exactly.
so
Exactly.
it's just so valuable, and I know the audience too, they're in the chat just appreciating so much that you're willing to be so vulnerable and share your story. And also, even though we're ending on a very emotionally fulfilling point, everyone go back and rewatch this because I swear every 30 seconds you were dropping just insanely
Thank you. I
valuable
appreciate
business
that.
stuff. So thank you, Nancy. Everyone who's watching, hop in the comments. Tell us your favorite part of today's event. Let us know if you have any questions still. If we get enough questions, we'll just have to ask Nancy to come back and answer them all again.
I will.
And
I will.
and you've always been so generous with your time and everything. Also, make sure to check out the description. You can start a Teachable account completely for free. Test it out, see what it's like to have your digital products there. And also, there's some goodies from Nancy as well in the description. So go check those out. Go follow her, be part of her world. Obviously, if you've been here this whole time, you know how inspiring it is.
Oh,
And if you had a good time here today, please like and subscribe to the Teachable YouTube channel. We're going to continue trying to bring you valuable content like this from the creators who we cherish because they make our platform what it is. Nancy, do you want to give anyone else any parting words before we call it quits for the day?
no, all I have to say is selling digital products is one of the best things I ever done. Is how I originally started making a lot of money from. Is not too late to do it. Find your niche, find what you're really good at, do market research, do product research, and just start it. Don't overthink anything. Just start doing it. Teachable makes it so simple for you to do it, and then promote the crap out of it everywhere on social media. Have links everywhere, and people and start building your audience with amazing content, and eventually people will start consuming your content and clicking on your links and growing your brand awareness. That's really going to help you to propel your digital products. But it's just not one piece of the puzzle, it's just so many. And if you follow me in my social media platform, if you ever have questions, I honestly try my best 99% of the time to answer every single question. So reach out to me at any given moment.
Love it. Thank you so much, Nancy. Thank you,
Thank
everyone,
you.
for watching.
Thank
Everybody have a wonderful Friday and a good weekend. We'll see you all soon. Bye.